Making his way to the cage and fighting out of the red corner, it's Paul Breeden Jr.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to CageZilla 73. My name is Charles DeGisco, and I'm joined alongside Sadiq Yusuf. Sadiq, my man, looking good, feeling a little bit better, right? Tell me a story.
I'm feeling a whole lot better. I hurt my back in November. You know, it was a long and tedious process to get back healthy again, but I'm finally feeling healthy. Everything's going smoothly, and I can't wait to get back in the octagon.
When did I see you last? When that's April? Was that April?
Yes, April.
Yeah, you know, April, you were hurting a little bit. You're kind of down. I was like, all right, I got to change subjects quick. But today, you got the nice shirt on. You're feeling good, looking ripped. Life is good, yeah?
Better posture. You know, I can stand up a lot longer. The sky's looking a lot more blue than gray.
All right, beautiful, beautiful. Well, with that said, our first bout of the evening is going to be coming out of the red corner. We have Paul the Hood Samurai Breeden Jr. He's 5'7", 143 pounds, 21 years old, fighting out of Prodigy MMA in Kearneysville, West Virginia. This is his MMA debut, although he does feel he's strong in the striking department, and that's where he wants to keep the bout. One thing I noticed, not to cut you off, but I wanted to get your input here, he works as a personal trainer to pay the bills, which I always felt that was like the ideal job for a young guy who's fighting and trying to make that happen. What do you think? Is that...
Yes, 100%. Anything that could keep you at the gym more is always ideal. With me, it was working with the kids program at my martial arts gym. And if it's physical, personal training, if it's anything that can just have you in there where the people are going to understand your work schedule, they can help you accommodate when it comes to training is more important than working this time, the better it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did the same thing in my late teens, early 20s. And, you know, for that age, you make a little bit of cash. And, again, keep you in the gym, ready to get after it. And we'll throw it back down to Chris for the next call-out.
And his opponent, making his way to the cage and fighting out of the blue corner, it's Telvin Ruffin.
Telvin Ruffin, 5'7", 144.8 pounds at 29 years of age, fighting out of Craig's MMA in North Carolina. He's fought once before. It was actually in CageZilla 71 where he fought Omari Simmons. He did lose, but he had moments where he looked comfortable in there. And, you know, for your first fight, things happen so quickly. It's kind of like, I always describe it, it's almost like a street fight that you train for a little bit.
Yes, 100%. It's like you said, by the time you realize what's actually happening and it's time to implement your technique, the time is going to go by like that, you know? And that's one of the things that you have to almost learn in the octagon. No matter how much training you have or how great your coaches are, they can't replicate that feeling until you actually have to get in there and show it out yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the gym time helps, no doubt. But when you're in there, that's when you're really getting your reps.
Yes.
And, you know, your first fight, I mean, you're usually out of breath completely before you even start realizing, like, oh, I have technique to throw. Or, oh, there's things I can do, you know? If you're a wrestler, you're going to default to your takedowns. If you're not and you're a striker, well, you're just going to be swinging for the fences.
Exactly. And with even, like, more specific towards tonight, that these guys are opening up. I know this is his second fight, but like you said, your second fight, you're looking for your first win, and you're opening up. You haven't gotten that chance to see everybody else warm up. You know, the octagon still feels cold to you. Like you're going in there, you're still nervous. So if I was him, in my mind right now, I'll just focus on, hey, the first couple of seconds, let's just slow things down, make this feel just like practice, so I'm not freaking out.
Yeah, and I would even tell you, I feel like even the crowd is a little
Asleep.
cold. You know, right? They're not awake yet.
Definitely. The crowd doesn't usually wake up until that first punch connects.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it's going to happen soon here as Telvin Ruffin makes his way to the cage, and we'll throw it down to Chris for the official call-out.
Salisbury Center, this bout is scheduled for three-minute rounds in the CageZilla Featherweight division. It is brought to you by our friends at Modelo, brewed for those who fight better. And ABC Supply, America's largest wholesale distributor of roofing, siding, windows, gutters, and more. And now, starting out, fighting out of the red corner, standing 5'7" and fighting out of Prodigy MMA, he's making his CageZilla debut. It's Paul the Hood Samurai Breeden Jr. And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 5'7" and fighting out of Craig's MMA with a record of 0-1, it's Telvin Ruffin. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds in the CageZilla Featherweight division. It is brought to you by Modelo and ABC Supply, and your referee is Michael Dolman.
I was watching Paul Breeden warm up earlier as soon as he got in the octagon. His kicks and techniques look very, very good. I would be very, very excited to see if he can land them in real life.
Yeah, lots of spinning stuff, as Nick Diaz would say. Well, I like that.
Right in the middle, man. Oh, he got his leg caught off the first strike. And this is what we're talking about, your first ever matchup. He pulls guard. Let's see, maybe he has something good off the back. Oh, it's good.
Triangle immediately.
Yeah,
he's got
good,
the arm, too.
A good transition into the triangle. And Telvin is not really addressing any proper defense. You know, he's not posturing up. His head looks like it's about to pop out, but it got.
Yeah, if he can hook that leg, he's about to have big issues here.
Yes.
It looks like he was able to get out.
Now, what we're seeing right here is still a whole lot of nervous energy, you know? First fight of the night, both of us are just frantic, just moving around, and he's about to spin out of bottom side control. Yes.
But you're seeing some pretty good composure out of Telvin, and that's evident by the fact that this is not his first fight, right? This is his second, and he's going to stay a little bit calm, whereas right now Paul is he's just fighting.
Yeah, attack. You know, he's not even giving himself a chance to, like, think through the positions. And now, even though they're in a compromised position, at least things are a little bit slower. You know, it's time for both guys to think about what's actually going on.
And now he ends up in mount. That was a pretty smooth transition there.
Yeah, Paul seems like he might have an advantage when it comes to the technique side. It's just about him calming down right now and picking the right positions.
Well, he's settling in pretty good right now. He's got a good grip. He's he just kind of overcommitted there. He really locked his arms and then allowed himself to get rolled over. To your point, right? He was in a good position, but he just had to kind of take it easy, and he would have been fine.
Now, Telvin's on top. If he could get some type of posture without leaving his hands on the ball, it would be a lot better for him. Oh, nice. I like that. Hey, you see the guy's a little bit better than you on the ground. Let's get it back to the feet. Oh, I'm not sure if
I think it was a slip.
Yeah, okay. I think that was a slip. I thought we was about to see a shin break.
Yeah, right. God forbid.
That's a rough way to start off your amateur career.
A good right hand landed though there from Telvin.
So I don't like the way Paul is kicking. You know, that's why I thought he broke his shin, to be honest, because it's kind of just like kicking right shin for shin. And that is not a game you want to play. You're flipping the coin 50-50 and hoping that was very rough. He pulled him out.
It looked like he was trying to pull him into a sweep, and he ended up pulling him into mount.
And it somehow worked. He pulled him into mount and then reversed him, and now he's on top.
And you know, this is early career amateur fighting, right? Amateur MMA, where just a lot of things that shouldn't happen do, and you don't quite have to pay that same price for it.
Exactly. It's a roundabout way to get your opponent to the ground. You know, you pull bottom out and then you sweep him.
Right. I like that. That's a good way to look at it. Now he's in half guard. Some good passing here.
Yeah, on top, his technique doesn't look bad at all. You know, I honestly do think that it's just frantic energy. You know, it's one of those things where, like, okay, I'm good at jiu-jitsu. I know what to do technically, but now we're in a fist fight. So, like, I'm thinking about too much instead of just committing to what works traditionally for me in the gym. And I'm sure that's what his coach is kind of yelling at Matt right now. It's like, hey, you're technically better in some of these scrambles. You're just doing a little too much thinking.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes it's just excessive movement. You know, you get in the habit of, especially before a fight, you don't want to stay still. That's a big thing that a lot of guys have to fight. You have to deal with that. Like, I need to always be moving forward. I need to never be settling. When the reality is that's exactly what you need to be doing.
Yes.
Staying calm, settling your weight, getting heavy, and you don't have to move.
Yes.
You know, when you're in a dominant position, make them make something happen, and that'll give you a better opportunity to land some successful offense without just getting rolled over.
Yeah, and sometimes too is you're constantly thinking about what happens in the gym in some of these positions, and you're doing a little too much to where your opponent might not react the same way your training partners do.
Right. Yeah, that's a great point. That is a great point. Michael Dolman gets both guys ready, and we're about to hit round two. The first round two for both fighters in their career. And we're off.
Let's see if things slow down just a little bit. I like the stance switch. It's just neither fighter wants to commit to using their hands. You know, they're kind of both trying to fight at distance. That's the second time Telvin caught his kick, and that was a good connection with that left hand. Oh, So right now, I can tell Telvin is not really experienced when it comes to grappling because he's putting himself in a few bad positions when he doesn't need to. That was a great takedown, though.
Yep, a good head and arm trip.
But right now, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is the time for him to posture and solidify his base instead of just holding on to nothing. He got the back, and he's able to spin through.
And there's just a lot of movement, right?
A lot of
There's
scrambles, unnecessary scrambles.
They're just not able to slow one another down.
And it's one of those things, this is the second time we've seen Ruffin on top. He got to work to do some damage, you know, because it's a hard round to score because all the judges are seeing is both people constantly scrambling. So somebody has to start doing some damage when it comes to strikes.
Well, Telvin, he seems pretty secure right now.
There we go. And now he's striking. And Paul's covering up. He got to show some intelligent defense. The referee almost stepped in there.
That was so close to stopping it, but he just managed to adjust his hips, and he got Telvin off of him.
I think both guys are now at the agree, like, okay, let's take a little bit of a rest. That was a good knee on the way up.
Ooh, nice body shot.
He went for a flying arm bar, almost knocked himself out. That was very, very rough. It was very short time in the round.
Telvin's hurting him here with. That's it. Michael Dolman's going to stop the fight.
Nice. That honestly started from a failed attempt at a flying arm bar. You know, I think he went for the flying arm bar and might have knocked his head on the mat.
Yeah, you know, you'd be shocked at how often fighters get rocked just from the impact of the takedown or the transition to the mat.
Yes.
And it doesn't take a whole lot after that, right? You know, you get hurt, you get hit, and you're like, you know what? I need to cover up and recover. And then next thing you know, somebody's all over you. And it looks like he's actually having a hard time getting up right there.
Yeah, it was a very. I want to see the replay for the flying armbar attempt, but because it looked like he hit his head pretty hard. And this is another one of those things where, like, on the mats at the gym, you know, it seems easier to do. But the cage floor is a little bit harder impact than it is on the mats at the gym.
Yeah, and for folks who don't know, the cage itself, it's got a metal frame, and then there's a 2x4 plywood, right? And then over that you have, what is it, like quarter-inch of foam?
Yeah.
That, like, real, like,
barely anything.
Tempur-Pedic foam, and then you have the canvas over that. So when you hit this, it's honestly not like hitting mats at all. And not for nothing, mats right above concrete doesn't really feel that great either.
Yeah.
But this is not that much different. It's got a little spring to it, so it doesn't feel like the ground, but man, it is not comfortable. And when the back of your head hits that, it doesn't take a whole lot for you to decide, you know what, I need a couple minutes.
And a lot of emotion being shown by Ruffin now. You know, you lose your first ever fight. You know, it must feel great to actually come back with a win. I always have a lot of respect for guys that start their career off on a loss, but stick it out and get the ball rolling later.
Yeah, and he is diving right in, you know, into the moment for sure. Very thrilled with himself, as he should be. You know, like you said, a lot of guys, they think that they could do this, they want to do it, then they go in there and the first fight goes nothing like what they imagined.
Yes.
And for so many, that's enough for them to be like, you know what, I'm not doing this ever again.
Exactly.
That was a terrible experience. But I do have a ton of respect for guys who decide, you know what, that might not have been my night, but I know that there's something here for me.
Yeah, so if we could see the replay, you'll see the armbar attempt, I think, is where the knockout actually happened. So yeah, he caught the kick, and he's gonna go for a flying. Oh yeah, you see, and he hits the side of his head on the mat. So the problem with that is he didn't secure anything. You know, he didn't have an arm secured. He kind of just jumped for it and was gonna try to grab your arm later. But it's one of those things. I think it's just a lot of nervous energy.
It sure is, and we're gonna throw it down to Chris for the official decision.
Salisbury Center referee Michael Dolman has called a stop to the action 1 minute and 52 seconds into the second round. For your winner by TKO out of the blue corner, it's Telvin Ruffin.
Telvin Ruffin, his big win for his second fight here at CageZilla, could not be happier. And when we return, we'll be back for bout number 2 of the evening.
Check. Check.